are you?
After the tape of the Rams game, what were some of your takeaways for things that you guys can immediately improve and kind of correct and get better at?
Yeah, I think just starting off with controlling the things that we can control, okay? Good procedure, a little more urgency early on, not shooting ourselves in the foot with pre-snap penalties, obviously negative plays, things like that, starting with that. So fundamentals, just the core stuff that we talked about, I guess, when we were in here last week, that's what it is. You got to go forward.
How does that get taught? I'm assuming y'all focused on that in camp. So
sure.
How does that get taught and corrected?
Focus on it every day. That's the building block. The day when we come in here in phase one, that's before we talk about any plays. We talk about our operation, you asked about the axioms, all those things. So you hold people accountable and you practice it, and you got to do it in practice to be able to do it in the game. So just continuing to refine it and learn from those opportunities. Early in the season, there'll be mistakes here and there's gonna be a mistake here and there in the game. They get paid too across from us, but we got to be more consistent from that regard. And it just starts again on Wednesday or Thursday of this week, etc.
What goes into the decision to shuffle more than one offensive line position when Ed's not available versus maybe just substituting somebody for Ed?
Yeah, I think that's, we collectively, starting with D'Amico and all of us, we talk about that as a staff, and I think there's a lot of factors. It's never one specific thing, but we always are going to do what we feel is best for the team.
Hey, Nick, you have obviously a lot of football background. You've coached a lot. What's it like now that you have being in the OC spot? Is there some jitters, some things you feel like, okay, not a bad start, but I'm going to grow into it? What do you?
Yeah, I think like anything, you're trying to assess what you can do better every day. There hasn't been one game that, as a player, as a coach, whatever, that you come out of and say, oh, we were flawless in that. You're always trying to work on things. You're your hardest critic. I believe that. I'm as hard of a critic on myself as anybody, and we have high standards here, and we want to do well. So I go back and reassess things, and you try to learn from everything that you do, and you want to prepare these guys and put these guys to be in the best position that you can possibly do. That's our job as a coach, and it's the same thing for players. They want to go out there and perform and be at their best, from down after down too.
D'Amico said it's probably ideal to get Nico the ball more. What goes into that? Is that maybe getting him involved in the quick game? Is maybe kind of on the quarterback too? What goes into getting Nico more catches?
Nico's a huge part of our team, obviously. So we always have Nico at the forefront of our mind. And there's always an approach every single week to get our players in position to make plays. And credit to the Rams in that case last week. And we had got to go forward. We got when you're off schedule, you can take your game plan, and it makes it a little bit more challenging. You try to adjust from there. But Nico's a huch part of our team, and a big time player for us, and we love him.
Go ahead, sir.
I was going to say, with that being said, what went into the decision to kind of go away from the run game after he was being so productive with Nick Chubb?
Yeah, I don't know that I ever thought in my mind that we were going away from the run game. In the second half, we were sticking in runs and he was ripping it off, and Nick Chubb gets stronger as the game goes on. So I don't think there was any decision to that. I think if anything, kind of stuck some more of those runs in there down the second half, got some efficient runs off, and kind of gave us some momentum down the stretch.
This was the first regular season game for all of your rookies, including Aaron Terrestri.
Yep.
What did you think of, on balance? Obviously, there were some plays you wish you had back, but did you see a lot of potential in that? What's your big overall takeaway?
Yeah, I would say this. It's the body of work. It's what we've seen from the time all these guys have gotten there. So I don't think one play defines a human being. I don't think one series defines a human being. I think it's what you see every single day when we're on the practice field. I think, obviously there's things in the game. We all can get better at things. He competes. He's going to have a really successful career. He pours a lot into it, got a lot of respect for him, and he's got a bright future, and we just got to keep on getting better every day collectively, in all of us.
This is your first time being able to see CJ actually, run your offense in game time. What did you see from him out of his first
competitor,
game?
steady. Really, really steady, no matter what the circumstance was, the down and distance, the situation. I think you saw that. Started off as a unit, obviously backed up the first drive, and then you watch what he did when he finished the half, made some big-time plays, called 50 seconds, right there in the 50-second range on an end-of-half 2-minute drive, used his legs, got us into field goal range. I mean, he's steady and consistent always, and he likes to compete. So never flinched, very consistent player.
Make of Todd Bowles and how he operates a defense and some of the things that are maybe hallmarks of a Todd Bowles defense?
Yeah, a lot of respect for Coach Bowles. Just dating back to even when I was in New England and he was with the Jets. Very, very good coach. guys play really hard, aggressive, at all three levels, and I think that he's done an outstanding job. I think the hallmark, they are really, really good at all three levels. They're really aggressive at all three levels. They'll pressure. You got to be on your on point with things relative to protections, run game, all those things, and right up the middle, whether it's Vea to David to Winfield. I mean, they've got a lot of guys that play really hard, and that's a testament to those guys, him as a coach, and that's been consistent since I've gotten in the league with Coach.
Being on your P's and Q's, I think D'Amico mentioned the tempo this week. I'd like to see it move a little bit faster.
Sure.
Did you also see it that way when you look back and throughout the game?
Sure, I think so. I think there's always room for improvement for that, and I can do a better job too. Like we can all collectively do a better job. So that's the focus, is just worrying about trying to get that better and help the whole entire process. And I think everything's connected. So if we all can improve a little bit here and move the needle and just keep being consistent, that's when you'll start to see things just obviously move at a better clip.
One of the things that CJ said is that he felt bad that they put you behind the eight ball in terms of what you're able to call when you have all the penalties. Can you talk about the penalties and removing that, how that makes it easier collectively for what you guys try to do?
Yeah, well, first of all, we're all in this together. So, I think we all share accountability, and that's starting with me. And I would say it's hard in this league when you don't make positive plays and you're going backwards early in games against whoever you play, let alone great teams like the Rams, the Bucks. I mean, you have to be able to stay on schedule. And so you just make it a little bit more difficult, I would say, with that. You're in longer yardage situations. You get guys into pass rush mentality when you're in get back on track situations and third and long situations. So I think collectively, starting cleaner and being able to make positive plays is always going to be key, no matter what game you're talking about.
On Nick and Sam.
She asked mine.
Nick, you talked about the interior of that Bucs defense.
Yeah.
What makes them so difficult against the run? It seems like
Fundamentals, technique, pad level, hand usage, relentless effort. I mean, they do a really good job. I mean, they're a really, really well coached defense that plays really, really hard and with really good fundamentals, and you see it on film. I mean, turn any game on at any point in the game, fourth quarter, first drive. They're very consistent. And I think it's the truest measure of performance is your consistency.
Coach, you talked about the next man up mentality before with Harrison Bryant filling in for Cade Stover. How easy is it just to plug and play him into your system?
Yeah, first of all, you feel for Cade, and he's a great competitor, great spirit about him. Harrison, I've had a lot of respect for him, dating back to his college days. He's played a lot of football, and he's a pro, and he's smart, and he works at it. And again, that room is a really close-knit room. They're very unselfish. I think that position in general usually is like that, and I think they always have a next man up mentality. So he's ready to go. He works really hard. He's very, very smart, and he's tough. He competes. So I've been happy with those guys.
What do Woody Marks and Jalen Noel need to do to earn more reps? Like, what does a rookie need to do to earn more reps?
I think whether you're a rookie, whether you're a vet, I think just being consistent and consistently going out there and producing. And those guys have had good play throughout training camp and stuff like that. And it's a matter of just going out and being their consistent version of themselves and working hard. And naturally, you're going to improve. You care, you work at it. Okay, you're going to continue to improve. And they've shown improvement along the way. I'm pleased with them.
Coach.
Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.